What's going on, everyone? This is Jags Central and I hope you're all doing well. The Jacksonville Jaguars are no longer winless thanks to a close win against the Colts, a 37-34 win in Jacksonville before the Jags head out to London for 2 games against the Bears and the Patriots. And talking about the London games, I will be at the Bears game next week. So if any of you guys will be at the game, hit me up in the comments and we can link up. If you're not going to be there, don't worry. I'm going to try to do a game day vlog for that day. Don't forget to subscribe for that content as well. But back to the Jags beating the Colts. The last time the Colts have won in Jacksonville was in 2014. That streak is now a decade old. Blake Bortles was still a rookie back then. So it's been a long time since the Colts have beaten us here in Jacksonville. And may that streak continue. Towards the end of my videos last week and the week before, to be honest, I was kind of asking the question, who can we blame for our awful performances? And one thing that kind of concluded that was basically it can't be one person, it can't be one side of the ball, it can't be one coach, or it can't be the coaching staff. It was everyone. Was it on Trevor Lawrence and him overthrowing, or him just having poor games? Was it the O-line that couldn't protect Trevor Lawrence or even open up any running lanes for the run game? Or was it the defense that couldn't get a turnover, give the offense a short field, or can't get a stop on third down, or get pressure on the opposition QB? Was it the play calling? Like I said in previous videos, our plays, our offense just looks like a chore. Like whatever we do on offense, it seems like it's hard work. Even if it's just to get a few yards or even get a first down, it was just really, really difficult. And there was an interesting stat that came up on the CBS show that for the past 2-3 years, our offense down the middle of the field is 31% of the time we kind of attack the middle of the field, and I think we were 31st as well, like in the league. So there's only one team that attacks the middle of the field less than us. So then that kind of shows us it's something to do with the play calling. Like it can't be the personnel, because we've got Christian Kirk who can catch the ball down the field, in the middle of the field. Same with Gabe Davis. Same with Travis Etienne. So it's not that we don't have the personnel. I think it was just more about the play calling. But like I said in previous videos, there was no one to blame. It was everyone. But let's get into the offense today. Like the offense played really, really good today. We scored 37 points, which is a sign that we played well. Trevor Lawrence, what a great game. Almost 400 yards. He was 28 of 34 for 371 yards, 2 TDs and 1 interception. His interception and turnover this season has been really, really good. He hasn't been turning over the ball in terms of interceptions and even fumbling the ball. Last season, the issue that he had was interception. And to be honest, he's had it since he came into the league, but interceptions have been quite significant, and even fumbling the ball. He hasn't done it this season so far, and he's only intercepted the ball. He's been intercepted twice this season, which is really good given our record. Very efficient game from him today, 82% passing completion. He was dicing it up. And last week, he had a few deep passes which he overthrew, which I know he would have wanted to have them back. But today, he had them back this week in 2. And the funny thing was, it was to those 2 exact players, Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas Jr. So one led to a touchdown to Brian Thomas Jr. and the other was to Kirk for a key first down that we needed late in the game. And he wasn't sacked once this game, and his escaping from pressure this week was so much better than last week. And also, I felt like this is basically the kind of game that we've been waiting for from Trevor Lawrence since his injury. But yeah, we could really see his confidence build back. And as the game went on, like I was kind of like thinking, yeah, this is basically the Trevor Lawrence that we're paying $275 million to. And even the way he ended the game with that drive, very commanding, and he just led us up the field, got us into field goal range, and we got the field goal. So these are the kind of numbers that we're looking for Trevor Lawrence to put up, because he's a $275 million pound man or dollar man. But yeah, this is what we need to be seeing regularly. And let's get on to the main event. Like Tanks Bigsby, he has arrived. During preseason, like I was just thinking to myself, this guy just has a different step to him. He has a different spring in him. He has confidence. He's running the ball so much better. I know it was only pre-season, that you can't really take too much from it, but Tanks Bigsby I saw in this preseason compared to last season, it was two different guys. And I'm kind of happy with like what I saw in preseason and kind of thinking, okay, this is Tanks Bigsby's season, as in like we're going to see more of him. And last week he had an amazing game, despite the loss. But this week he had 2 touchdowns. Both were electric. First one, he couldn't be stopped. Like, he went through D linemen, linebackers, and he barreled his way into the end zone, and he was not going to be stopped. And then the second one, he went for 65 yards, similar to last week, where he ran for 60 yards, but was just stopped short of the goal line. But this week, he was not being stopped. He had open grass, and he went straight into the end zone for his second touchdown. And this was his first career 100-yard rushing game. So you can see, like, he's taken a different level. He's taken a step to a different level this season. And talking about career highs, Brian Thomas Jr., another career high for the rookie, 122 yards with a big TD. He is a big game player, like big time player. He is so good. Like, the more him and Trevor Lawrence improve their relationship and the way they play together, it's going to be scary hours real soon. So you can already see one win already in the season. It's only taken us 5 weeks, and I'm already really confident. But yeah, let's talk about another wide receiver that we brought in this season, Gabe Davis. Like, I think, is it time to have a conversation about him? I know it's only 5 weeks, but 5 weeks is almost just over a third of the season, or just under a third of the season, sorry. But yeah, like, I know when we signed him, I knew that he wasn't going to be someone with a high reception kind of guy. Like, you know that if you play fantasy, plus if you were a Bills fan or any Bills fan we spoke to after we got him, they told us and they warned us already. They said, you're not going to be getting consistent games. You're going to have one random game where he has 150 yards, 6 catches and 2 touchdowns. But he's been really disappointing, and we haven't even had one big play from Big Play Gabe. He had an incident apparently with Trevor Lawrence on the sideline. Like, we never saw any footage of it, but it was reported on the sidelines. And then he went on to basically fumble the ball like in the second quarter, just before the first half. Luckily, it didn't really matter because the Colts got the ball back, and then we got the ball back from them where there was a strip sack. But it didn't really end up mattering anyway. But Gabe Davis probably seems really frustrated with his performances. I don't blame him. Like, not just his performances, but also the performances of the team. He's come from the Buffalo Bills, where he's just won, I think, 3-4 seasons in a row. And a quality wide receiver like him shouldn't be happy and should be demanding more of the team and himself. But hopefully we can see Gabe Davis turn a corner, because we really need him to turn a corner if we want the Jaguars to turn a corner as well, and also try to get into the playoffs. 1-4 means 6% of teams are going to get into the. I think you have a 6% chance of getting into the playoffs, but there's a chance, and I think we just have to make sure that we find a way. Getting onto the O-line, like, I know we've gotten to the O-line so many times last season and early in the season, but the protection was great for the second week in a row. They allowed Trevor Lawrence to be patient in the pocket, make his reads and get the ball out. And when an NFL QB has time to throw, it makes a hell of a difference, and we've seen that in the last 2 weeks. They've played lights out in both the pass protection and the run protection, and coincidentally, both weeks we've had 2 deep pass opportunities. Last week was unsuccessful, but this week was successful, and we've had 2 big runs, and that's all down to the offensive line. So I want to give them their credit. 1 sack last week and 0 sacks this week. So in the last 2 weeks, they've only given up 1 sack. When the offensive line plays like this, and good things happen, and hopefully we can keep this up. But I don't really want to be critical of the offense, but there's one thing that I have to mention. 3rd down offense again. 3 out of 10, converting 30%. It's improvement on previous weeks, but this is really bad. It's like being a dead horse, talking about the Jags and 3rd down. But I'll just move on. The defense, even though we gave up 34 points, the defense played really well. Like, 4 sacks total for the defense. Got a key strip sack after we fumbled the ball to get the ball back just before the end of the second half. At the end of the second quarter. And in the end, that was the difference basically. That 3 points that we ended up getting after getting the strip sack was essentially the difference between going to overtime or losing a game. So big credit to the defense there. Trayvon Walker, great game. He was putting pressure on the O-line and on Joe Flacco. Got 3 sacks, and his final sack was to end the game, and he's now on 5 sacks on the season, so he's playing really, really well. And also, the other thing I want to kind of give a shout out to Ryan Nielsen. I think some of his schemes today were really, really working to make it really, really difficult for Joe Flacco. I know they didn't have their starting QB and their starting running back, but we really, really made it difficult for them. And credit is, we have to give credit where credit is due. One other thing that I kind of want to be critical about, I know I'm critical about the Jags on third down on offense, but I also want to be critical on them on defense as well. Like, we struggle to get the opponent off the field. Like, the Colts converted 50% of their third downs, 7 for 14. The thing is with the Jags on defense, they do everything right on first and second down, but tackling on the catch, pass breakups, causing incompletions, all of that is amazing on first and second down. But when it comes down to third down, they just can't get a stop, and I just don't know what it is. The Jags just need to find a way on defense, just on third down, just do what you're doing on first and second down. Because on first and second down, we seem like an amazing defense. Like, we tackle on the spot. Like, as soon as the Colts caught the ball behind the line to gain, we were on them. There were pass breakups to stop any first downs, but as soon as we get to third down, that's when we freeze. I don't know what it is. One other thing, even though Trayvon Walker has started the defense for the Jags today, one huge shout out to Ventrell Miller coming in for the injured linebackers. He was doing his thing out there. He was flying around the field. He was second in the team today for tackles. Last week, he led the team in tackles. He attacks the line of scrimmage so well to stop the runs. He sniffs out screen passes. His anticipation is just really, really amazing. And then when he sees a play developing, his engine to get to the ball is so tough. He makes sure to splatter the ball carrier, and he makes sure to get through those blockers, to get out of the way to get to the ball. And I was really worried when Devin Lloyd and Foye Oluokun was injured, because I was thinking, how are we going to survive in our linebacker position? But he has stepped up big time. Special teams also showed up as well with a big punt return of 50 yards for Duvernay, and all 3 levels of the Jags today showed up. This is all we ask for as Jags fans. Play tough and make plays. Next game, I'll be at the game, so I can't wait. A tough game against the now 3-2 Bears, but we have a chance to come to London, leave with a 3-4 record. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. And some of you guys, I might catch you guys at the game. So like I said, hit me up. Go Jags. Don't forget to subscribe.